So I thought I'd do a video today about like how different things are for me compared to like 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I was hustling away, burning out, working long hours. I was so caught up with this hustle thing, this burning out thing. I was told like you've got to work hard, you've got to work long and hard, you've got to make sacrifices, long days. And I was like studying successful people. And most of them people were saying that you've got to work hard. You know, I made sacrifices. I slept on the sofa, I slept on my office, I slept on the floor. And I'm thinking, wow, this is what I need to be doing. These guys are burning out, they're tired, on the verge of having a heart attack. So I thought I had to grind away. Now, listen, I knew all about I was getting into the law of attraction. I didn't know all about it, but I was getting into personal development. I think I first heard about The Secret, maybe it's about 2007. And I got really obsessed with this, right? There wasn't many people back then that knew about this information. There was only a very small handful compared to like today, like we're in 2022. Now everybody and his mum knows about the law of attraction. Everybody's kind of heard about it. Probably 70% of the world's population now have probably had some exposure to the law of attraction. From that movie, The Secret, that was a great movie, right? So I started to buy books. I was buying some books where people were talking about how hard they worked, how many sacrifices they made. And I went on that path to making sacrifices, to missing out, to burning out, to, you know, going like crazy, going mental, because I believe that's what we had to do. Now, my awareness was different then. I was hanging around with different groups of people. Now, the successful people I knew back then, they weren't at the level of people that I know now. Back then, I would deem someone to be successful who was earning like 5 or 10,000 a month. That was like fucking old, 10,000, 5,000 a month, ridiculous amounts of money. So now what's changed is I'm in a different environment altogether. I'm studying different people. I'm hanging around with different people. My circle of friends have changed because my awareness changed. I was like looking up to local business people that seemed to be driving a nice car, where I thought they were multi-millionaires. I didn't know what people are worth, right? You look at people and you assume that person must be making X amount. Only to find out later on that these people were people are opening up to me because they want my help. So the people that I was looking up to then, I'm speaking to them now and they're asking me for my help. And I'm asking them, listen, dude, what's the most you've ever earned? And it shocked me because they say, oh, it's about 7,000, 8,000. Once I did 10,000. And I'm like, wow, back then I was thinking that these guys must be making like $1 million a year. And it wasn't. So my awareness was different. My views on money were different. I had a view that to become a millionaire, right, you've got to work like 20 years, right? You've got to work hard for 20 years, sacrifice and miss out. I saw family members that had businesses and they were constantly burnt out, tired, working long hours, exhausted. And they were in different businesses. They were trading their time for money. Here's a huge difference. This is one thing that I learned from Bob Proctor. He said there's 3 strategies to earning money. He called it the M1, which is where you trade your time for money. This is what most business owners are doing. They're trading their time for money. So they're in like a glorified job. They got into a business, but they end up marrying their business, chained to their business, where they're not able to get away. And this M2 strategy, he said, was where you invest money to make money. Now, this is a very risky way. Lots of people lose a lot of money, right? So they do it once, they get burnt, they don't really know what they're doing. Now, there's professional investors, so don't try to shoot me down, right? There's people out there that do make money, invest money to make money and make a hell of a lot of money, right? But again, these people are trained, they spend time, they don't just get lucky, they put work into it, understand, educate themselves with it. And then you have the M3 strategy, which is where you have multiple sources of income. So this is where you're earning money whilst you're asleep. You don't even have to be in a certain place to earn money. And that interested me because I didn't want to, you're going to be capped out, right? If you're earning 10,000 a month, 10,000 an hour, for 24 hours, it's like 24,000. You can't go beyond that. So the model of people I was studying back then is totally different to what people are doing now. Back then I heard about lots of different ways people were making money. Some people, financial traders and all this kind of thing. People buying and selling cars. Didn't really know too many people that were flipping properties, but I did know some people who were involved in buying properties and renting properties. But I'm like, how long does it take you to save some money up to buy one property to rent it out? The deposits. Like it could take you like 2 or 3 years to like stack up 25 grand or 20, 30, 40,000, whatever was needed then. But now things are happening differently. My awareness has changed. So I'm working with people, myself included. I'm making like some, you could say like, decent sums of money. I've earned 100,000 in one day. Whereas before, where my awareness was with the information that I knew, the knowledge that I had, and my assumptions, my beliefs, they were getting me to earn around 2,000, 2,500 a month, working like up to 100-hour weeks. So my awareness back then was different, right? I believed I had to work long hours, work hard, make sacrifices. So I went out to do that. I was only doing what I was taught to do. I was only doing what I could see other people who I deemed successful that they were doing. So I thought, you know what, if I just follow their footsteps, I work long hours, trade my time for money, be tired 7 days a week, grind away, I'm going to be rich. And I wasn't. So I was doing all that and it wasn't changing for me. So to now, like nowadays, things have totally changed. I work maybe 10 hours a week, if that. Right now I'm recording this video. It's about 11 a.m. on a Thursday, a Wednesday. Right now, I've got the day to myself. I don't know what to do with myself because I've got so much time on my hands. Okay, but now my income has changed. Now I'm earning 6 figures every single month. But here's the thing, I knew about the law of attraction back then, but I didn't really understand how it worked. I was confused with all the information there was about the law of attraction. I would read the book The Secret. I didn't read the book The Secret. I was lazy. So I watched the movie The Secret many times over and over again. I would watch little videos I could find. There wasn't much stuff on YouTube about it. So anything I'd find, I'd try to absorb and I'd try to implement. And a lot of the stuff I was watching on YouTube wasn't really effective because it wasn't working with the law the right way. These were people's concepts, people that had watched the movie The Secret, gone to seminars, they're great at speaking, so they put together a nice little video, maybe some titles on it, got a load of viewers on there, maybe like, you see this video's got like 4 million views, I'm thinking this dude or woman is an expert, so I better watch what this person says and implement it, just because I was looking at how many views this video has. Now, one thing I've come to notice is that it doesn't really matter how many views your video has had or a particular video, okay? Now, listen, you could have a fancy title. You could do some of that, what's that stuff they call clickbaiting? You can clickbait in fooling people into watching your video. But the content on that may not be accurate. So I don't really focus on how many likes I get and all this kind of stuff, on how many shares you get on your Facebook profiles and all that kind of stuff. It doesn't really matter. Now, I've really learned that the law of attraction works in a very particular way. Now, once you follow this, success becomes effortless because it takes you far less time to get those kind of results. So now, I remember when I hit my first 20k month and my workload began, because I was working with the law, so I began working less and my income started to climb. And I'm like, this is more like it. This is more like it. So I was actually starting to earn more money and my hours were being reduced because I wasn't following the old system that you've got to work long and hard. I changed my beliefs. And then I went to like 50k a month and I was working even less. When I was doing like, I think 25, 26,000 a month, when I did that, I was probably working about 40 hours a week. Then 40, maybe 50 hours a week. I was still like cut down from like doing 100 hours a week, but my income grew. So I was kind of okay. I was happy to work like 40-hour weeks to earn 26,000. I remember I went to a seminar. It wasn't a seminar. It's somebody that was promoting ACN. It was a multi-level marketing thing. So I was back into it back then. So I went to one and this guy said that he was earning 25,000 and he showed everybody on it. 25,000. I thought, fucking hell, I thought that was a lot of money then. I was 25,000. I thought that was a hell of a lot of money. Now, I've changed my awareness and I've shifted. So the more I earn, the less I work. It sounds kind of crazy, right? Because the more I understand myself, the more I study, the more I learn, the more I apply what I learn, is everything becomes more effortless. You understand how the universal laws work and you start working with them, where most people are using these laws that govern the universe, right? Govern us, govern how we earn our money, govern our financial thermostats. And actually, most people are using it let me start that again. So most people are using this in reverse. They're actually repelling the attraction rather than attracting it because they don't really know what they're doing with it. It's like an engine, right? I'm no mechanic. So you couldn't give me your car and ask me to fix it and say, listen, the engine's all fucked. Can you help me put it together? I wouldn't know where to start. And this is the same thing with like the laws that govern this universe. Everything is done in a very precise way. Everything fits in. There's moving parts to it, right? You've got to do things in a certain way. In The Science of Getting Rich, Wallace and Gromit, W.D. Wattles said that, you know, you don't get rich by doing certain things. You get rich by doing things in a certain way. And I didn't really understand that for quite some time until like Bob explained it a few times, and then the penny dropped. And now I'm doing things in a certain way. Now I've got many of my clients who come to me that have been working long hours, you know, running successful businesses already making some money, but they're working way too hard. They don't have the time freedom they wanted. They don't have the money freedom they wanted. And so I show them how to really implement and use and leverage this power that we've got locked up inside of us. We make some tweaks and all of a sudden things start to change. And it's absolutely miraculous. Now there's people out there, and now I've done 100,000 a day. Right now there's people out there that do 100,000 in a minute. There's people out there that earn $1 million a day, because so they're operating on a different frequency, different awareness. So I'm surrounding myself with these kind of people. I know that the more I not just study, but the more I learn and implement what I learn, the faster my results are going to come. So I've got to really understand me, and I spend a lot of time working on myself, on my mind, understanding how the mind actually really works. There's layers. It's like an onion. You peel back one layer, there's another. So we want to get to like a certain point in your life. Think about where you are right now in your income. How long have you been in there? How long have you been at that level of income? How long has it been locked in? How much money have you had in your bank account? How long has it been around that sort of level? Now we've got to understand, our money, our income goes up as our awareness raises, as we change frequency, okay, when we move up the ladder. And that's when things become easier, okay, understanding. Not working hard, not working long. I don't believe in that. I work less and more. That's my whole ethos. That's the philosophy that I live by. So I want everybody to understand that you actually can work less and earn more money. There's people out there that don't even work. Some of the richest people out there in the world don't even work. And so look around you. Look at people that you know that are earning 3,000 a month, 5,000 a month. And more or less you can guarantee you that in the next 20 years time, they might earn, in accordance to the inflation that's going on, they'll be earning an average wage, whatever that is, right? An average wage, an average wage, right? An hourly rate, whatever. And so they'll consistently be at that sort of 3, 5, 7K a month. And it will go up with inflation. And they won't ever get to like the 10, 20, 30Ks because they're not aware, right? I wasn't aware that I could earn 10,000 in a month. I wasn't aware that I could go to 5,000, 10,000, 20,000. I wasn't aware. I just thought that it was down to luck. I thought it was down to working longer and harder. I thought it was down to like the industry, changing industry. It's not working in industry, so let me try something else. Let me try something else. Let me try something else. And I'll try lots of different things. And guess what? Not much would fucking change. Maybe you've experienced that yourself. You know, you've gone from one industry and you change industry and it's more or less the same. It's not less and not more. It's more or less the same. It kind of averages out. Why is that? It's fucking crazy, right? Because look, we've got to shift our awareness. When we start to think like why something can't be done, like you want to buy a Lamborghini, let's say, you want to buy this dream home, and you just look at it, you're on Google or whatever, searching it, and you look at it, think, oh, that's nice. But you don't think, right, I want that, how can I make that happen? What do I need to do? Let me find out what I need to do. And so we push these dreams away because we don't believe we can have them. We don't believe we can attract them. Now, you're probably watching this video now and you're probably thinking, you know what, Mindy, I would love to earn 100,000 a month. I'm at 10,000. I would love to get to 100,000. But the first thing you start to do is think about how it happens, the how. So I was caught up in the how. 10 years ago, I was thinking differently. I was operating from a different level, from a different mindset. But now I've matured. I'm not just talking about age, but I've matured in like how I see the world. My awareness has totally changed. Where I could only see problems at one point, I could only see why something couldn't be done. Now I've shifted, right? Now I can only see why something can be done and how it can be done. I don't entertain like why something can't be done. I was looking at like mansions online the other day, like $30 million mansions, huge mansions with like, 30,000 square foot and all them lavish homes. And I'm like, okay, So what do I need to do to get that? Whereas before I'd be like, oh, I'd never be able to get that. It's just too big. Fucking, how much money do you have to be earning? How many businesses would you have to have? How many staff would you have to have? Oh, that would take for years. I don't think like that now, because I know that I've just got to get onto that frequency of where that goal is. Okay, I've got to have them shifts. I've got to grow into that. Everything that we want to attract, we have to have some element of growth, right? We've got to grow into it. Whereas back 10 years ago, I didn't understand that we had to grow. I didn't realize that we can grow. I didn't realize that we have like mental growth, spiritual growth. All I thought it was down to hard work, luck, being in the right place at the right time. But often we are in the right place at the right time, but our awareness isn't. This is a great lesson I learned from Bob Proctor too. Some amazing lessons that man taught me. Wow. And it's just like you're looking through different lens, right? It's like you're looking through like everything, the filter that you're looking through totally changes with our awareness, with the shifts that we have. And that's when things start to really take off. Now, if you go into my, I've got a Facebook group, I don't know if you're in it, it's called Mind, Money and Business. Go check it out on Facebook. And in there, there's some testimonies on this channel right here where you can see that how I've helped many people in business to achieve like crazy sums of money in a very short space of time, because I've helped them tune up their engine, just like a racing car, right? We tune them up for high gears, right, to high traction. This is what we do. So think about where you were like maybe 5 years ago. Where is your awareness? Now think about the goal that you want to achieve. Now understand that is all possible, but we have to have the growth. We've got to grow into that, right? We've got to develop awareness, understanding. And it's not just by reading books. It's really by understanding yourself, understanding who you are and how this universe works. You can have anything that you want, right? So I thought I'd just share this with you, like how my awareness has changed in the past 10 years. Now, my awareness now, in the next 5 years, 10 years, must change, and it will change if I'm going to fit into those bigger income levels, right? So I must change. This year I must change. My awareness must change in a week's time, for 2 weeks' time. So this happens by constantly studying, working on yourself over and over again. So next month, my awareness must increase if I'm to increase my income. We can't stay at the same level, right? We can't stay at the same level of awareness on that same frequency, because that's all we're going to attract to ourselves. I want you to understand that, right? So until next time, have a wonderful day and happy manifesting.